Stop looking around. Stop waiting for permission. Stop hoping the crowd will save you. They won't. You are drowning in noise, distracted by average people with average ambitions, and it is killing your potential. To build something great, you must be willing to stand alone. Solitude is not loneliness. Solitude is leverage. This is the lone wolf protocol. We're going to strip away the distractions, kill your need for validation, and teach you how to disappear so you can finally do the work that matters. The time for talk is over. The time for focus is now. Chapter 1. The herd is sedating you. Look around you, right now. Look at the people in your life. Look at the people you work with, the people you text, the people you spend your weekends with. Are they pushing you? Are they challenging you? Or are they comforting you? Most of you are surrounded by a support system that is actually a sedation system. You are surrounded by people who love you, but who are terrified of your potential. They want you to be safe. They want you to be manageable. They want you to stay exactly where you are, because if you rise, it forces them to look at their own stagnation. You have been told that there is safety in numbers. You have been told that the herd protects the weak. That is a lie. In the wild, the herd protects the weak, but in the modern world, the herd creates the weak. The herd is sedating you. It is lulling you into a sleep of mediocrity that you might never wake up from. This leads us to the first harsh truth of the lone wolf protocol. The average is the enemy. You are a product of your environment. This is not a theory, this is biology. Humans are mimetic creatures. We mimic the behaviors, the standards, and the expectations of those around us to ensure social survival. If you stand in a room with 5 people who complain about their jobs, within 20 minutes, you will be the 6th. If you walk with people who have no discipline, your discipline will erode. It is gravity. You cannot fight it indefinitely. The group naturally regresses to the lowest common denominator. Maintaining social cohesion requires you to lower your standards to match the average of the group. You suppress your ambition so you don't look arrogant. You suppress your focus so you don't look obsessive. You dim your light so you don't blind the people who prefer the dark. Stop doing that. You are sacrificing your future to make average people feel comfortable in the present. You are paying a silent tax on your potential. You have a choice. You can be liked by the herd, or you can be respected by history. You cannot be both. If you want to achieve something that 99% of people will never achieve, you cannot do what 99% of people do. It is that simple. And yet, you are terrified to step away. Why? Because the herd offers you something addictive. The herd offers you comfort. And this brings us to the most dangerous trap in your life, the comfort trap. Listen to me closely. Write this down. Burn it into your mind. Comfort is the killer of dreams. Friction is the creator of greatness. Say it again. Comfort is the killer of dreams. Friction is the creator of greatness. We are biologically wired to seek comfort. We want the soft chair, the easy job, the passive entertainment, the agreeable friends. We think comfort is the goal. We think comfort is the reward for hard work. You are wrong. Comfort is a slow poison. When you are comfortable, you stop growing. When you are comfortable, you stop innovating. When you are comfortable, your mental muscles atrophy, just like your physical muscles would if you laid in bed for a year. Look at your life. Where are you too comfortable? Are you staying in a relationship because it's familiar? Are you staying in a job because it requires no real effort? Are you hanging out with the same friends because they don't challenge your bad habits? That comfort is ruining you. You need friction. A diamond is only created through immense pressure. A sword is only sharpened against a rough stone. A muscle only grows when you tear it under the stress of weight. Friction is the creator of greatness. If your life feels easy, you are going the wrong way. If your days are predictable, you are not living, you are existing. You need to introduce friction. You need to put yourself in rooms where you are the dumbest person at the table. You need to set goals that terrify you. You need to reject the warm embrace of the herd and step into the cold wind of reality. You have a choice. You can be comfortable and forgotten, or you can be uncomfortable and legendary. That's the key. The willingness to endure discomfort is the primary indicator of your future success. The herd will try to pull you back. They will say, "Relax, take a break." They will say, "Why are you working so hard? You're making us look bad." They will offer you a drink, a distraction, a reason to stop. They are offering you comfort. They are handing you poison. Do not take it. Reject the poison. Comfort is the killer of dreams. So how do you break free? How do you escape the gravitational pull of the average and the sedation of comfort? You must enter the separation season. You cannot grow in the same environment that kept you small. You cannot heal in the same environment where you got sick. You need to separate. This does not mean you have to move to a cabin in the woods forever, but it does mean you need a period of aggressive detachment. You need to physically and mentally separate yourself from the herd to reset your baseline. You need to disappear for a while. This is the separation season. It is a deliberate period of time, maybe 30 days, maybe 6 months, where you cut the noise. You decline the invitations. You stop explaining yourself. You stop asking for permission. You don't need their permission. When you separate, you will feel lonely. Good. That loneliness is simply your withdrawal symptoms from the drug of validation. You are detoxing from the herd. During the separation season, you are reclaiming your mind. When you are in the herd, you are thinking their thoughts. You are outraged by what the news tells you to be outraged by. You are excited by what the trends tell you to be excited by. You are a mirror reflecting the world around you. When you separate, you stop being a mirror. You become a source. You start to think your own thoughts. You start to see your own path. It will be scary. The herd will attack you. They will call you distant. They will call you weird. They will say, "You've changed." When they say you've changed, look them in the eye and say, "That was the point." You are not separating because you hate them. You are separating because you must respect yourself. You are raising your standards, and they cannot come with you right now. It's not about arrogance. It's about discipline. You have a choice to make today, right now. You can turn this audio off and go back to the group chat. You can go back to the happy hour. You can go back to fitting in. You can stay sedated. Or you can step away. You can accept that comfort is the killer of dreams. You can accept that friction is the creator of greatness. You can step into your separation season. The lone wolf does not hate the pack, but the lone wolf refuses to be limited by it. The lone wolf knows that the path to the summit is narrow and there is no room for a crowd. You have to walk it alone. But once you step away from the noise, once you step away from the opinions and the sedation, you will find yourself in a quiet place, a terrifyingly quiet place, and that is where the real work begins. You have escaped the herd. You have stopped the sedation. Now you are face to face with the only thing scarier than other people. You are face to face with the silence. Most people run back to the noise because they cannot handle the silence. But you are going to master it. Chapter 2. Silence is your superpower. Silence is not empty. It is heavy. For most of you, silence is terrifying. You avoid it like a plague. You wake up and the first thing you do is grab your phone. You check the notifications. You turn on the TV. You get in the car and you blast the radio. You go to the gym and you put in the headphones. You cook dinner and you listen to a podcast. You are terrified of a single second of uncurated quiet. Why? Because you know the truth deep down. You know that if the noise stops, you will have to listen to yourself, and you are afraid of what you might hear. You have become addicted to input. You are an information junkie, overdosing on other people's thoughts to avoid generating your own. You think you are being productive because you listened to 3 audiobooks on 2x speed this week. You aren't being productive. You are being distracted. This leads us to the critical tactical shift of the lone wolf protocol, the noise detox. You must stop the bleeding. You must cut the cord. The modern world is designed to keep you stimulated. It is designed to keep you reactive. When you are reacting to a podcast or a song or a news cycle, you are not creating, you are consuming. Consumers get poor, producers get rich. You cannot produce a strategy for your life if you are constantly consuming the strategy of someone else. You need to go on a noise detox. This means you stop filling every gap in your day with sound. When you drive in silence. When you walk in silence. When you lift weights, you lift in silence. I can hear the excuses already, but I need music to get hyped, but I need the podcast to learn. It's not about motivation, it's about discipline. You are using audio as a crutch. You are using noise to regulate your emotions because you haven't learned to regulate them yourself. You are outsourcing your mental state to a playlist. You have a choice. You can be a slave to the stimulus, or you can be the master of your own mind. When you strip away the noise, you will feel withdrawal. You will feel anxious. You will feel bored. Good. Let it burn. That anxiety is the signal that your brain is finally waking up. It is trying to process the data you have been stuffing into it for years. This brings us to the core philosophy of this chapter: clarity through absence. You are looking for answers. You are looking for the secret to success. You are searching for the blueprint. You keep looking out there. You keep looking in books, in videos, in courses. But the blueprint is not out there. It is in here. But you can't read it because it is buried under layers of noise. In silence, you find the answers you've been running from. Listen to that again. In silence, you find the answers you've been running from. When the noise stops, the truth starts. The truth about your career, the truth about your relationship, the truth about your health. Maybe you've been listening to music constantly to drown out the voice that says, "I hate this job." Maybe you've been binge-watching series to drown out the voice that says, "I am lonely." When you embrace silence, those voices get loud, and that is exactly what you need. You need to hear them. You cannot fix a problem you refuse to acknowledge. In silence, you find the answers you've been running from. Strategy requires space. A general does not plan a war in the middle of a nightclub. He goes to the tent. He looks at the map. He thinks. You are the general of your life, but you are living in a nightclub. Turn the music off. Clear the room. Look at the map. That's the key. The silence is not a passive state. It is an active weapon. It is where you sharpen the blade. It is where you simulate the future so you can dominate it when it arrives. If you are constantly processing input, you have zero processing power left for output. You are lagging. Your operating system is frozen. Reboot the system. Now, how do we apply this? I am not telling you to go live in a cave. I am telling you to perform a specific, brutal exercise. This is the 60-minute rule. This is your homework. This is your test. Sometime in the next 24 hours, you are going to go into a room alone. You will leave your phone in another room. You will turn off the computer. You will turn off the music. You will close the door. You will sit in a chair, and you will do nothing for 60 minutes. No notebook, no reading, no sleeping. Just you, the chair, the wall, and your mind. This sounds easy. It is not. For the average person, this is torture. After 10 minutes, you will get fidgety. You will reach for a pocket that has no phone in it. After 20 minutes, you will start to panic. Your brain will scream, "This is a waste of time. I should be doing something." After 30 minutes, the demons will show up. The regrets, the fears, the insecurities. Let them come. You don't need their permission. You don't need the permission of your anxiety to sit still. You sit there and you stare it down. If you cannot sit with yourself, you cannot lead yourself. If you cannot stand your own company for 1 hour, why should anyone else enjoy your company? If you are that boring or that chaotic or that empty, that is a problem you need to fix. And you don't fix it by running away. You fix it by sitting in it. If you cannot sit with yourself, you cannot lead yourself. By minute 45, something will shift. The panic will subside, the boredom will break, and suddenly you will have a thought, a clear, sharp, original thought. It might be a solution to a problem at work. It might be a realization about a toxic friend. It might be a vision of where you want to be in 5 years. That thought is worth more than 10 years of scrolling through social media. That thought is pure gold. And you only found it because you stopped digging through the garbage of other people's noise. In silence, you find the answers you've been running from. The lone wolf is comfortable in the quiet. The wolf does not need to bark to know it is dangerous. The wolf observes. The wolf waits. The wolf plans. The sheep are always bleating. They are always making noise to reassure each other that they are still there. I'm here, look at me, I'm part of the group. You are not a sheep. Stop bleating. Stop filling the air with meaningless sound. Stop filling your brain with meaningless data. It's not about being informed, it's about being effective. You have a choice. You can continue to drown in the noise, or you can learn to swim in the silence. When you implement the 60-minute rule, you will realize that your mind is a dangerous place. It is a weapon, but right now it is a weapon that is spinning out of control. Silence is how you grip the handle. Silence is how you aim. Do the work. Take the headphones off, sit in the chair, face the void. Because once you master the silence, you stop looking for validation. You stop looking for applause. You stop caring if they are watching. You realize that the only applause that matters is your own self-respect. But there is an enemy waiting for you in that silence. As soon as you quiet the external noise, you are going to hear an internal voice that is desperate to be fed. It wants to be told it's good. It wants to be told it's special. That voice is your ego, and if you don't starve it, it will eat you alive. You have cleared the noise. Now we must clear the delusion. Chapter 3. Starve the ego, feed the focus. Let's be honest about why you are here. Let's be honest about why you are struggling. You are addicted to being seen. You go to the gym, and before you even lift a weight, you take a picture. You start a business, and before you make $1, you update your bio. You read a book, and before you finish the first chapter, you post a quote to show everyone how intellectual you are. You are not doing the work. You are performing the work, and there is a massive difference. You are trapped in the validation trap. Every time you post your plans, every time you share your journey, every time you look for a like or a comment that says good job, you are leaking energy. You are taking the high-octane fuel that should be burning in your engine, and you are spilling it on the ground for other people to look at. Why do you do this? Because your ego is fragile. Your ego screams, look at me, validate me, tell me I'm special. But here's the science you are ignoring. When you tell someone your goal, your brain releases dopamine. It gives you the premature feeling of satisfaction, as if you have already achieved the goal. You trick your brain into thinking the work is done. So what happens? You lose the drive to actually do it. You talk about writing the book and you feel good, so you never write the book. You talk about the marathon and you get the applause, so you quit at mile 10. You have a choice. You can have the dopamine of the announcement, or you can have the dopamine of the achievement. You cannot have both. Every ounce of energy spent impressing others is energy stolen from your purpose. You are stealing from your future self to pay for a cheap thrill right now. That's the key. You need to understand that validation is not fuel. Validation is a leak. You need to plug the leak. You need to kill the need to be seen. You need to enter what we call ghost mode. This brings us to the concept of invisible progress. Real progress happens in the dark. Real progress is ugly. It is boring. It is repetitive. It does not look good on Instagram. If your work is content, it probably isn't deep work. Think about a seed. When you plant a seed, where does it grow? It grows underground, in the dirt, in the dark. If you dig it up every day to show your friends, look, I'm growing a tree, you kill the seed. You expose it to the light before it is ready and it dies. You are doing the exact same thing with your potential. You are digging up your seeds to get a round of applause. Stop it. Leave the seed in the dirt. Let it grow in the dark. I want you to adopt a new mantra. I want you to say this when you feel the urge to share your small wins. I want you to say this when you feel the urge to complain about how hard you are working. Don't tell them, show them. Or better yet, don't show them at all. Just know it yourself. Say it again. Don't tell them, show them. Or better yet, don't show them at all. Just know it yourself. Why do you need them to know? Why do you need your high school friends to know you are grinding? Why do you need strangers on the internet to know you are up at 5 a.m.? If you need them to witness your discipline for it to count, you do not have discipline. You have a performance anxiety. It's not about validation. It's about discipline. True power comes when you do something difficult and absolutely nobody knows about it. You run the extra mile in the rain and you don't post the map. You finish the project a week early and you don't brag to the boss. You fix your diet and you don't lecture the table. You just do it. You hold that knowledge inside you. It builds a reservoir of self-respect. You walk around with a secret. You know what you are capable of. You don't need them to confirm it. You don't need their permission to be great, and you certainly don't need their awareness. This requires a fundamental shift in how you score your life. You need to move from external metrics to internal metrics. Right now, you're keeping score using external metrics. How many likes did I get? Did they notice my new car? Did my parents say they were proud? These metrics are poison. They are out of your control. If your self-worth is tied to things you cannot control, you will always be anxious. You will always be a slave to the audience. The lone wolf uses internal metrics. Did I do what I said I was going to do? Did I give 100% effort when nobody was watching? Did I improve from yesterday? These are the only numbers that matter. You are only allowed to value what you produce, not how it is received. That's the key. Detach from the reception. Marry the production. If you write a masterpiece and nobody reads it, is it still a masterpiece? The ego says no. The lone wolf says yes. The value is in the creation, not the applause. When you shift to internal metrics, you become dangerous. You become unshakable because nobody can take away your self-respect. You earned it in the dark. Don't tell them, show them. Or better yet, don't show them at all. Just know it yourself. Imagine a version of yourself that is completely immune to criticism and completely immune to praise. Imagine how much work you could get done if you didn't care if it went viral. Imagine how focused you would be if you weren't constantly checking the scoreboard. You must starve the ego. The ego is a hungry, crying child. It wants attention. It wants candy. It wants to be told it is the best. Starve it. Let it cry. Let it throw a tantrum. And while it is screaming for attention, you turn your back and you get back to work. Feed the focus. Your focus is a muscle. It needs to be fed with deep, uninterrupted blocks of effort. It cannot thrive on the junk food of social media likes. You have a choice. You can be a character in your own story, or you can be an actor performing for an audience that doesn't care about you. When you stop posting, people will ask, "Are you okay? We haven't heard from you." They will assume you are failing because you are quiet. Let them assume. Let them think you quit. Let them think you fell off. Their confusion is your camouflage. While they are wondering where you went, you are doubling your capacity. While they are debating your silence, you are building an empire. Don't tell them, show them. Eventually, the results will speak, and results speak a language that everyone understands. You won't have to announce your success. You will walk into the room and the success will be obvious. It will be in the way you carry yourself. It will be in the weight of your presence. But by the time that happens, you won't even care because you will have realized that the process was the prize. So, here is your instruction for this phase. Go dark. If you are working on a project, keep it a secret. If you are changing your body, wear baggy clothes. If you are making money, dress broke. Starve the ego, feed the focus. Stop the leaks. Keep the energy inside. Let the pressure build. Let the pressure turn into drive. Let the drive turn into obsession. But simply going quiet isn't enough. You can sit in the dark and still be passive. Now that you have cut the noise, Chapter 2, and killed the need for applause, Chapter 3, you need a strategy to use this isolation. You need to turn this isolation into a weapon. You are not just hiding, you are withdrawing to prepare for an attack. Chapter 4. Disappear to dominate. There is a fundamental misunderstanding about what we are doing here. When people see someone pull away from the crowd, they assume something is wrong. They assume you are depressed. They assume you are struggling. They assume you are hiding because you are weak. Let them assume. Their ignorance is your advantage. You are not hiding. You are not running away. You are executing a strategic withdrawal. Think about a bow and arrow. To generate power, the arrow must be pulled back. It must move backward, away from the target, to build the tension required to fly. The farther back you pull, the faster and harder you strike. You are the arrow, the world is the target, and your solitude is the tension. Right now, you are moving backward. You are stepping out of the light. You are disappearing. But you are not doing this to sulk. You are doing this to reload. That's the key. Solitude is not a sad state. It is a strategic state. It is a military maneuver. Every great conquest in history began with a period of withdrawal. Every great leader, every great artist, every great builder spent time in the wilderness before they changed the world. They didn't build their empire while arguing in a crowded bar. They didn't write their masterpiece while checking group texts. They disappeared. They went underground. They built their weapons in private so they could win the war in public. You need to view your life through the lens of a campaign. You are currently in the preparation phase. You are in the bunker. You have a choice. You can stay on the battlefield unarmed, distracted, and getting slaughtered by the noise, or you can withdraw to the bunker, sharpen your blade, and return as a conqueror. To do this, you must develop a specific psychological tool. You must build a new muscle, the no muscle. Most of you have a no muscle that is completely atrophied. It is weak. It is pathetic. You say yes to everything because you are terrified of disappointing people. Hey, do you want to come to this dinner? Yes. Can you help me move this weekend? Yes. Do you want to grab a drink after work? Yes. You say yes because it is easy. You say yes because you want to be a good person. But let me tell you what you are actually doing. Every time you say yes to something minor, you are saying no to your mission. It's not about being rude, it's about discipline. You have a finite amount of time. You have a finite amount of energy. When you give that energy to a casual acquaintance, you are stealing it from your purpose. You are stealing it from your family. You are stealing it from your future. You need to start saying no, and you need to say it without an excuse. You don't need to lie. You don't need to say, oh, I'm sick, or maybe next time. You just need to say, no, I can't make it. I'm focused on work right now. If they get offended, let them be offended. If they stop inviting you, let them stop inviting you. You don't need their permission to protect your time. This is a drill. For the next 30 days, I want you to default to no. If it does not directly contribute to your health, your wealth, or your family, the answer is no. You will feel guilty. That guilt is weakness leaving the body. That guilt is the herd trying to claw you back in. Ignore it. That's the key. Your ability to disappoint others is directly correlated to your ability to succeed. If you cannot disappoint them, you will end up disappointing yourself. You have a choice. Disappoint the crowd or disappoint your potential. Pick one. Now, let's look at the cost. Let's look at why this is mathematically necessary. We are going to talk about reclaiming time. You think you don't have time to work on your side hustle. You think you don't have time to get in shape. You think you don't have time to read. You are lying to yourself. You have the time. You are just giving it away. We call this maintenance socializing. These are the hours you spend maintaining relationships that have no depth. The happy hours with coworkers you don't respect. The phone calls with friends who only want to gossip. The weekends spent at events you didn't even want to attend. Let's do the math. Suppose you spend just 4 hours a week on maintenance socializing. A Friday night dinner, a Saturday afternoon hangout, just 4 hours. That is 208 hours a year. That is 5 standard 40-hour work weeks. You are taking 5 entire weeks of your life every single year and throwing them into the trash, just to remain on good terms with people who are not helping you grow. Imagine what you could build with 5 full weeks of uninterrupted focus. Imagine the skills you could learn. Imagine the money you could make. Your time is your life. Stop giving your life away to people who don't share your vision. Say it again. Your time is your life. Stop giving your life away to people who don't share your vision. When you disappear, you reclaim those 200 hours. You take them back. You put them into the bank of your future. People will say, "But you need balance. You need to relax." It's not about balance. It's about momentum. You can have balance when you have won. Right now, you haven't won. You are in the trenches. You don't need a vacation. You need a victory. When you disappear, you create a vacuum. And nature abhors a vacuum. When you remove the distractions, the parties, and the fake obligations, you are left with a massive block of time. This is where people fail. They clear the schedule, they disappear, and then they waste the time. They sit at home and play video games. They sit at home and sleep. That is not the lone wolf protocol. That is just being a hermit. You are disappearing to dominate. This means that the time you reclaim must be deployed with lethal precision. You are trading a night out for a night of deep work. You are trading a brunch for a strategy session. You are not just sitting in a room, you are building. You don't need their permission to be unavailable. You need to become unreachable. Make yourself scarce. Scarcity creates value. If you are always available, you are cheap. If you are always around, you are common. Gold is valuable because it is hard to find. Be like gold. Be hard to find. When you finally re-emerge from this period of darkness, you will be different. You will be stronger. And the people who were wasting your time, they will still be at the same bar telling the same stories, complaining about the same problems. They stayed in the light, but they didn't grow. You went into the dark, and you evolved. You have a choice. You can be popular or you can be powerful. Start the withdrawal today. Cancel the plans. Send the text. Say no. Feel the space open up around you. Feel the quiet. Now you are alone. Now you have the time. Now you have the energy. But time and energy are useless without a system to process them. You can have all the free time in the world, but if you don't know how to structure it, you will waste it. You will drift. You need a framework for the work itself. You need to understand the mechanics of elite performance. You need to understand the math of the flow state. You have cleared the field. Now, let's build the engine. Chapter 5. The Mathematics of Deep Work. You have cleared the noise. You have starved the ego. You have reclaimed your time. Now you are sitting in a room alone. The door is shut. The phone is off. Now what? Most people think that just showing up is enough. They think that sitting at a desk for 8 hours means they worked for 8 hours. That is a lie. Most of you are not working. You are pseudo-working. You are engaging in low-value, distracted, shallow activity that mimics work but produces 0 results. You are busy, but you are not productive. To dominate, you need to understand the physics of the mind. You need to understand the mathematics of deep work. Let's look at the numbers. They are brutal. Science tells us that when you are interrupted by a text, by a tap on the shoulder, by a notification, it takes your brain an average of 23 minutes to get back to the same level of focus you had before the interruption. 23 minutes. Think about your average day. You get a text every 15 minutes. You check your email every 10 minutes. You get a Slack notification every 5 minutes. Do the math. If you are interrupted 3 times in an hour, you have effectively done 0 deep work. Your brain is constantly rebooting. You are in a permanent state of cognitive lag. You are trying to win a Formula One race, but you are stopping the car every 100 yards to check the tires. You will never reach top speed. You will never enter the flow state. The flow state is where greatness happens. It is that elusive zone where time disappears, where the work feels effortless, and where your output is 10x higher than normal. You cannot enter the flow state with notifications on. It is biologically impossible. That's the key. The lone wolf protects their focus like a vault. If you let people interrupt you, you are letting them rob you. If you let your phone interrupt you, you are letting an algorithm rob you. They are stealing your flow. They are stealing your genius. You must become aggressive about this. It's not about being polite, it's about discipline. If you are a surgeon performing open-heart surgery, do you answer a text? No. If you are a pilot landing a plane, do you check Instagram? No. Why? Because the stakes are high. Treat your work with the same level of respect. If you don't respect your time, nobody else will. So how do we fix this? How do we mathematically guarantee success? We implement the holy 4 hours. This is your new religion. This is the non-negotiable standard of the Lone Wolf Protocol. You need a block of 4 hours every single day where you are completely unreachable. You don't need their permission to disappear for 4 hours. This block is not for emails, it is not for meetings, it is not for catching up. This block is for deep work. It is for the one thing that moves the needle. It is for writing the book, building the code, designing the product, or analyzing the deal. 4 hours. I can hear the excuses piling up. I have a job. I have kids. I have a boss. You have a choice. If you have a job, you do the 4 hours before work. Wake up at 4 a.m. If you have kids, you do the 4 hours after they sleep. If you can't find 4 hours, find 2, but make them holy. During this block, the phone is in another room, the internet is disconnected if you don't need it, the door is locked. If the building is not on burning down, nobody comes in. This is extreme. Yes, that is the point. Extreme results require extreme measures. The math is simple. 4 hours of deep work is worth more than 16 hours of distracted, shallow work. When you lock yourself in that room, you are building a competitive advantage that 99% of the population cannot touch. Why? Because 99% of the population cannot go 10 minutes without a dopamine hit. They are weak. You are disciplined. That's the key. While they are switching tabs, you are building empires. This brings us to the philosophy that will define your financial future: production over consumption. Look at the people around you. What are they doing? They are watching Netflix. They are scrolling TikTok. They are reading news about people they don't know. They are consuming. Consumers get poor. Producers get rich. Write that down. Tattoo it on your brain. Consumers get poor. Producers get rich. Every time you consume content, you are paying with your attention. You are the customer. You are the product. Every time you produce content or code or products or systems, you are the owner. The lone wolf is a producer. The herd is a consumer. You need to flip the ratio. Stop watching the tutorial and do the work. Stop reading the business book and start the business. Stop listening to the podcast about fitness and go lift the weight. It's not about knowledge, it's about execution. You have enough information. You are drowning in information. You are starving for execution. The 4-hour block is your execution window. It is the time when you stop consuming the world and start creating it. Stop watching, start building. When you sit down for your 4-hour block, you will feel resistance. Your brain will beg for a distraction. It will say, just one quick check, just one video. You have a choice. You can feed the addiction or you can build the future. When you deny that urge, you get stronger. When you stay in the chair, you get stronger. Let's look at the math again. If you do 4 hours of deep work a day, 5 days a week, that is 20 hours of pure, distilled, genius-level output. The average person does maybe 1 hour of deep work a week, maybe. In 1 year, you will have done 1,000 hours of deep work. The average person will have done 50. You will be 20 times further ahead than your competition. It's not magic, it's math. Consumers get poor, producers get rich. You want to change your life? You want to change your tax bracket? You want to change your legacy? Stop consuming, start producing. You don't need their permission to outwork them. Get in the room, lock the door, turn off the phone, and do the math. 23 minutes to refocus, 4 hours to dominate. 0 excuses. That's the key. But here is the warning. When you start doing this, when you start locking the door and ignoring the texts for 4 hours a day, people are going to get upset. They're going to call you selfish. They're going to say you are too intense. They're going to say you are obsessed. They're going to stop liking you. And if you are weak, that will break you. If you need their approval, you will unlock the door, you will check the text, and you will lose the war. You need to be ready to be disliked. You need to be ready to be the villain in their story so you can be the hero in yours. Chapter 6. Kill the need to be liked. You are carrying a weight that is crushing your spine. You don't see it, but it is there. It slows down every step you take. It hesitates every decision you make. It dilutes every word you speak. That weight is the need to be liked. You are terrified of friction. You are terrified of being misunderstood. You are terrified that if you say no or if you change your path, someone, somewhere will have a negative opinion of you. So you smile when you don't want to smile. You agree when you don't agree. You apologize for taking up space. You stay small so you don't threaten anyone else's ego. Stop it. You are paying a tax that you cannot afford. This brings us to the first brutal truth of this chapter, the cost of likability. Here is the reality. If everyone likes you, you are doing something wrong. If everyone likes you, it means you have no edge. It means you have no conviction. It means you are blending in so perfectly that you are invisible. Greatness is polarizing. Greatness is not a warm blanket. It is a fire, and fire burns. Look at history. Look at the people who actually changed the world. Were they universally liked? No, they were controversial. They were criticized. They were misunderstood. If you want to be a leader, you cannot be a people pleaser. The two are mutually exclusive. You have a choice. You can be liked by the average, or you can be respected by the exceptional. You cannot have both. When you try to be liked by everyone, you end up standing for nothing. You become vanilla. You become background noise. That's the key. To be exceptional is to be an exception, and exceptions annoy the rule. When you start the lone wolf protocol, when you start the 4-hour blocks, when you start the separation season, people are going to stop liking you. They are going to get uncomfortable. They will say you are too intense. They will say you have changed. They will say you are forgetting where you came from. Good. Let them say it. You are entering what we call the villain arc. In every movie, the villain is the one who has a plan and executes it without asking for permission. The hero is often just reacting. The villain is proactive. The villain is focused. I want you to embrace the villain arc, not because you are evil, but because you are no longer willing to sacrifice your mission to make others feel comfortable. When you stop drinking with them to work on your business, you become the villain of their Friday night. When you stop gossiping with them to read a book, you become the villain of their lunch break. When you refuse to validate their excuses, you become the villain of their narrative. Accept it. Wear it like armor. They will call you distant. They will call you arrogant. They will call you obsessed. Let me translate that for you. Distant means you are focused. Arrogant means you are confident. Obsessed means you are disciplined. It's not about arrogance, it's about discipline. Their insults are actually compliments, they're just spelled wrong. When people criticize your new habits, it is because your growth highlights their stagnation. You are a mirror. When you get in shape, the out-of-shape person feels attacked. When you get rich, the lazy person feels attacked. They are not attacking you, they are attacking the feeling of inadequacy you trigger in them. So when the backlash comes, and it will come, do not apologize, do not explain yourself, do not try to win them back. Their confusion is your confirmation. Say that again. Their confusion is your confirmation.
If they don't get it, you are on the right track. If they think you are crazy, you are pushing the envelope. If they think you are working too hard, you are finally working hard enough. You don't need their permission to be misunderstood. This requires a massive shift in your internal operating system. You must develop emotional autonomy. Most people are emotional slaves. Their mood depends entirely on how others treat them. If someone compliments them, they are happy. If someone insults them, they are sad. If someone ignores them, they are anxious. They are puppets. The world pulls the strings and they dance. Cut the strings. The lone wolf does not dance. The lone wolf has emotional autonomy. This means your self-worth is generated internally. It is a closed loop. It does not require external input. I want you to memorize this phrase. I want you to use it every time you feel the sting of criticism or the fear of judgment. Your opinion of me is none of my business. Repeat it. Your opinion of me is none of my business. What they think of you is happening in their brain. It has nothing to do with your reality. It is their movie, their script, their projection. It is none of your business. That's the key. Detachment. Imagine you are a mountain. The wind blows, the rain falls. The hikers complain about the steepness. Does the mountain care? Does the mountain apologize for being steep? Does the mountain try to be flatter so the hikers like it more? No. The mountain is the mountain. It stands. It endures. It is indifferent. Be the mountain. You have spent your whole life trying to be the hiker, looking for a path that everyone else is walking on. Stop it. Be the immovable object. You don't need their permission to exist. You don't need their permission to be steep. When you kill the need to be liked, you unlock a dangerous level of freedom. You can finally speak the truth. You can finally make decisions based on logic, not fear. You can finally execute your plan without looking over your shoulder. Think about how much energy you waste trying to manage your reputation. Think about the mental gymnastics you do to draft a text message so it sounds nice. Think about the anxiety you feel after a meeting wondering if you said the right thing. All that energy, recover it, take it back, use it to build. It's not about being nice, it's about being effective. Nice is a weakness. Kind is a strength. You can be kind, you can be helpful, generous, and honorable without being nice. Nice is just fear in disguise. Nice is just manipulation to get people to like you. Stop being nice. Start being real. You have a choice. You can spend your life trying to manage the perceptions of others, or you can spend your life managing your own potential. When you stop caring, you become magnetic. Ironically, the less you try to impress people, the more they will be drawn to you. People are drawn to certainty. People are drawn to autonomy. They smell it. When you don't need them, they want you. But remember, you are not doing this to get them to want you. You are doing this because you have a job to do. You are stripping away the social weight. You are taking off the mask. You are stepping into the role of the villain, the outlier, the lone wolf. And once you stop performing for the crowd, once you stop dancing for the applause, you are left with something else. You are left with a lot of empty time. You are left with a quiet mind. And suddenly, the excitement of the drama is gone. The thrill of the gossip is gone. You are left with something that terrifies average people. You are left with boredom. Most people run from boredom. They treat it like a disease. But you are going to use it. You are going to realize that boredom is not a problem. It is a portal.
Chapter 7. Boredom is the gateway to genius. You are running from the very thing that will save you. You treat boredom like it is a disease. You treat a quiet moment like it is an emergency. You are standing in line at the grocery store for 30 seconds, and out comes the phone. You're at a red light for 10 seconds, and out comes the phone. You are in an elevator for 3 floors, and out comes the phone. You are terrified of the pause. You are terrified of the gap between events. Why? Because you are a dopamine junkie. You are addicted to the cheap, fast, sugary high of constant stimulation. And because of this addiction, you are killing your potential. You think boredom is the enemy. You think boredom means you are wasting time. You are wrong. Boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is the filter. Boredom is the gatekeeper. This brings us to the biology of high performance, dopamine regulation. Here is the difference between the amateur and the professional. The amateur works for the dopamine hit. They want the excitement. They want the fun. As soon as the work gets boring, as soon as the excitement fades, they quit. They look for the next shiny object. They look for the next hack. The professional, the lone wolf, understands that boredom is part of the job. That's the key. High achievers tolerate boredom better than amateurs. In fact, they don't just tolerate it, they lean into it. If you want to be great at anything, whether it is business, fitness, or art, you have to fall in love with the boring parts. You have to fall in love with the repetition. You have to fall in love with the grind. It's not about passion, it's about discipline. Passion fades, boredom is guaranteed. When you feel bored, your brain is sending you a signal. It is saying, I am understimulated, feed me. The average person obeys that signal instantly. They feed the brain junk food, social media, news, gossip. They numb the sensation. But the lone wolf interprets the signal differently. When the lone wolf feels bored, they know they are at the threshold. Boredom is not a signal to pick up your phone. It is the threshold to a breakthrough. It is the wall you must climb over to get to the genius on the other side. You have a choice. You can sedate the boredom and stay average, or you can endure the boredom and become exceptional. You need to understand where ideas come from. You need to understand the idea's waiting room. Let's look at history. Let's look at the giants whose shoulders you want to stand on. Isaac Newton. In 1665, the Great Plague hit London. The universities sent everyone home. Newton didn't have Zoom. He didn't have Instagram. He went to his family farm and sat in isolation for a year. It was quiet. It was boring. And in that boredom, in that silence, he invented calculus. He discovered the laws of motion. He changed the course of human history. He didn't do it at a networking event. He did it in the void. Albert Einstein. He worked in a patent office. It was a mundane, repetitive, boring job. He wasn't surrounded by hustle culture. He was surrounded by paper. But that boredom gave his mind the space to wander. It gave his mind the space to simulate the universe. Creativity requires space to breathe. Your mind is like a jar of muddy water. If you keep shaking it with texts, with music, with videos, it will always be cloudy. You will never see clearly. You have to set the jar down. You have to let it sit. You have to let the mud settle. That settling process is boring. It feels like nothing is happening. But when the mud settles, the water becomes clear, and suddenly you can see the answer. That's the key. You are shaking the jar every 5 minutes and wondering why you can't see the solution to your problems. You have no original ideas because you have no empty space in your brain to house them. You are renting out every square inch of your mental real estate to other people's content. Evict them. Clear the room. Sit in the empty chair. This brings us to the challenge. You must learn to endure the void. I'm going to give you a drill that will feel physically painful. It is simple, but it is not easy. Next time you are stuck on a problem, or next time you feel that itch of boredom, I want you to do something radical. Stare at a wall. I'm serious. Put the phone away, close the laptop, sit in a chair and stare at a blank wall. Do not meditate, do not count your breath, just sit there and be bored. Your brain will panic, it will scream at you. This is useless, check your email, do something. You don't need their permission. You don't need the permission of your impulses to act. Sit there, endure it. Embrace the boring. The magic is hidden in the mundane. Say it again. Embrace the boring. The magic is hidden in the mundane. After about 20 minutes of staring at that wall, the dopamine cravings will start to die down. The brain realizes it isn't getting its fix. It stops screaming. And then the magic happens. Your brain, desperate for stimulation, will start to generate its own. It will start to connect dots that you didn't know were related. It will solve the problem you've been stuck on for weeks. You will unlock a level of thinking that you cannot access when you are scrolling. It's not about being smart, it's about being still. You have to retrain your brain to generate its own dopamine through production, not consumption. Think about the gym. The actual act of lifting a weight is boring. It is repetitive, up and down, up and down. There is no entertainment in the rep itself. The entertainment is for the weak. The results are for the strong. If you need to be entertained to do the work, you are a child. Grow up. You have a choice. Be entertained and poor, or be bored and rich. Be entertained and weak, or be bored and strong. The most successful people in the world have a high tolerance for monotony. They can do the same thing day after day with the same intensity without needing an applause break. They don't need the work to be fun. They need the work to be effective. Embrace the boring. So, here is your instruction. Stop filling the gaps. When you walk to the car, don't check the phone. When you wait for the coffee, don't check the phone. When you use the bathroom, for God's sake, don't check the phone. Let your mind wander. Let it be bored. Let it reset. You are reclaiming your cognitive sovereignty. You are taking back control of your chemical reward system. When you stop reacting to every impulse, you become dangerous. You become deliberate. You stop being a leaf in the wind, and you become the wind. But to maintain this state, to keep this clarity, you have to be ruthless. You have to protect this new mental space with your life. You can't just endure boredom. You have to actively destroy the things that are trying to steal your attention. You have too much clutter. You have too many obligations. You have too much junk in your schedule. You have cleared your mind. Now you must clear your life. You must take a knife to your calendar. Chapter 8. Ruthless Elimination of the Non-Essential. You are drowning. But you aren't drowning in water. You are drowning in tasks. You wake up every morning with a to-do list that is a mile long. You run from meeting to meeting, email to email, crisis to crisis. You finish the day exhausted, sweating, and depleted. And yet, when you look in the mirror, you have to ask yourself a terrifying question. Did I actually move forward today, or did I just run in place? Most of you are not productive. You are just busy. You have confused motion with progress. You think that because you are sweating, you are working. You think that because you are stressed, you are important. That is a lie. Being busy is often a form of laziness, lazy thinking, and indiscriminate action. It is easy to be busy. It is hard to be effective. You are carrying too much baggage. You are trying to run a marathon while carrying a backpack filled with rocks. And instead of taking the rocks out, you're looking for a better backpack. You are looking for a better productivity app. You are looking for a better planner. Stop it. You don't need to organize the rocks. You need to dump them on the side of the road. This brings us to the minimalist mindset. When I say minimalism, I am not talking about having a white room with one chair. I am not talking about throwing away your clothes. I am talking about task minimalism. The lone wolf understands a simple law of physics. You cannot travel fast if you are heavy. Everything in your life that is not essential is a drag on your speed. Every commitment, every favor, every side project, every good idea that is not a great idea is weight. You have a choice. You can carry everything and go nowhere, or you can carry almost nothing and go everywhere. You need to look at your calendar with the eyes of a sniper. If a task does not directly move the needle on your number one goal, it is a distraction. It is non-essential. And if it is non-essential, it must be eliminated. Not delegated, not deferred, eliminated. That's the key. Most people try to manage their distractions. You need to murder them. You need to adopt the mantra that will save your sanity. Simplify to multiply. Say it. Simplify to multiply. If you want to multiply your results, you must simplify your inputs. You must cut the fat to find the muscle. So, how do we do this tactically? We use the 80-20 purge. The Pareto principle states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. That means 80% of what you do every day is garbage. It is filler. It is waste. You are spending 8 hours a day to achieve what could be done in 90 minutes if you just focused on the top 20%. I want you to audit your life right now. Look at your last week. Look at every single thing you did. The meetings you sat in, the emails you answered, the errands you ran, the people you met. Now circle the 20% of those activities that actually brought you money, health, or fulfillment. Circle the 20% that actually mattered. Everything else, the other 80%, that is the fat, and you need to cut it. Cut the fat to find the muscle. But I can't, you scream. I have to answer those emails. I have to go to those meetings. I have obligations. You don't need their permission to opt out of mediocrity.
If you stop doing the bottom 80%, what is the worst that will happen? Some people will be annoyed. Some emails will go unanswered. Some chaos will happen in the short term. Let it burn. It's not about being popular. It's about discipline. The discipline to say this does not matter is the rarest skill in the modern world. If you eliminate the bottom 80%, you suddenly have free time. You have mental space. You have the energy to attack the top 20% with ferocity. Simplify to multiply. But there is another enemy we need to kill. It's not just the physical tasks, it's the mental load. It is decision fatigue. Every time you make a decision, you burn glucose in your brain. You burn willpower. What should I wear today? Burn. What should I eat for breakfast? Burn. Should I answer this text now or later? Burn. By the time you sit down to do your actual work, your deep work, your battery is empty. You have spent all your fuel on trivial nonsense. This is why Mark Zuckerberg wears the same shirt every day. This is why Steve Jobs wore the turtleneck. This is why elite military units have strict protocols. They are eliminating low-level decisions so they can save their brain power for high-level decisions. Solitude simplifies choices. When you're a lone wolf, you create a routine that is boring and repetitive. You eat the same food, you wear the same clothes, you work at the same time. You automate the basics. You have a choice. You can waste your energy deciding what kind of latte to order, or you can save that energy to decide how to dominate your industry. That's the key. You are leaking power through 1,000 tiny holes. Plug the holes. Stop making small decisions. Automate them. Eliminate them. If you have to think about whether to go to the gym, you have already lost. It should not be a decision. It should be a default. If you have to think about when to start working, you have lost. It should be a default. Simplify to multiply. I want you to look at your to-do list for tomorrow. I want you to take a red pen. Cross out half of it. Yes, half. If you had to accomplish only one thing tomorrow to call the day a success, what would it be? Do that. Ignore the rest. But what if I miss something?
You are missing your life right now because you are too busy managing the noise. You are missing your potential because you are drowning in the trivial. Cut the fat to find the muscle. When you ruthlessly eliminate the non-essential, you become light, you become agile, you become fast. The herd is slow because the herd is carrying everything. They are carrying drama, they are carrying busy work, they are carrying other people's expectations. You are not the herd. You are the lone wolf. You travel light, you travel fast. You only carry what kills. It's not about volume, it's about impact. Do less, but do it better. Do it with lethal intensity. When you strip away the 80%, you are left with the core. You are left with the work that actually scares you. You are left with the work that actually matters. And this is where the fear comes in. Because when you are busy, you can hide. You can hide behind the emails and the meetings. You can pretend you are working. But when you eliminate the busy work, there is nowhere left to hide. It is just you and the mission. You have cleared the calendar. You have cleared the mind. You have cleared the clutter. Now you have to build. But here is the final secret of the builder. The greatest things are not built in the public square. They are not built with a live audience. They are built underground. They are built in the shadows.
Chapter 9. Build in the dark. There is a reason why the most important government sites are underground. There is a reason why the newest prototype cars are driven in camouflage. There is a reason why a construction site is surrounded by high fences and keep-out signs. Important things are fragile while they are being built. They need protection. They need secrecy. You are building the most important structure in the world, your future self, and yet you are building it with the doors wide open. You are inviting the world in to critique the blueprints before you have even poured the foundation. You are talking too much. You are broadcasting your moves, and it is killing your momentum. This brings us to the power of secrecy. We have touched on this, but now we are going to operationalize it. Why do you feel the need to announce your big plan? Why do you tell your friends, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to lose 30 pounds? You do it because you want the reward before the work. When you tell someone your goal and they say, wow, that's amazing, good for you, your brain releases dopamine. You get a chemical hit of satisfaction. Your brain is tricked into thinking you have already achieved the goal. The tension is released. The pressure is gone. That's the key. You need the pressure. Pressure is what drives the piston. Pressure is what turns coal into diamonds. When you talk, you open the valve and let all the pressure out. You become a deflated balloon. Keep your mouth shut. If you are going to launch a product, build it in silence. If you are going to get ripped, train in silence. If you are going to move to a new city, pack your bags in silence. You have a choice. You can have the temporary high of telling people what you might do, or you can have the permanent power of actually doing it. Every time you feel the urge to share your big news, swallow it. Let it burn inside you. Let that unexpressed energy turn into fuel. It's not about secrecy, it's about physics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. If you spend your energy talking, you have no energy left for building. This brings us to the metaphor that defines this chapter. You are entering the underground phase. Have you ever seen a Chinese bamboo tree grow? You plant the seed, you water it, you fertilize it, you wait. For the first year, you see nothing, no growth, just dirt. You water it for the second year, nothing. The third year, nothing. The fourth year, nothing. Most people would quit. Most people would scream, "This isn't working," and they would stop watering. They would walk away. But in the fifth year, something happens. Within 6 weeks, the bamboo tree shoots up to 90 feet tall. Did it grow 90 feet in 6 weeks? No, it grew 90 feet in 5 years.
For 4 years, it was growing underground. It was developing a massive, complex root system strong enough to support 90 feet of vertical growth. If it had shot up in the first year without those roots, the wind would have snapped it in half. You are the bamboo tree.
Right now, you are in the dirt. You are working, you are sweating, you are doing the 4-hour blocks, and it looks like nothing is happening. Your bank account hasn't exploded yet, you aren't famous yet, the results aren't visible to the world. Good. You are growing roots. That's the key. You are building the foundation that will support the empire. The herd wants instant gratification. They want to be 90 feet tall tomorrow. So they build flimsy, weak lives that topple over the moment a storm comes. They have no roots. You don't need their permission to grow slowly. You don't need their permission to be invisible. When people ask, "What are you up to?" and you say, "Just working," they will look at you with pity. They will think you are stagnant. Let them think that. It's not about speed, it's about stability. You are building in the dark so that when you finally emerge into the light, you are unshakable. You are unbreakable. But there is a dark side to this isolation. When you are underground, when you are in the dirt, it is lonely, it is cold, and there is one realization that will hit you harder than anything else. It is the realization of total self-reliance. Look around the room you are in. Look at the door. No one is walking through that door to save you. There is no white knight. There is no lottery win. There is no rich uncle. There is no government program. There is no lucky break. No one is coming. For the average person, this thought is terrifying. It sends them into a depression. They want to be saved. They want a parent. They want a safety net. For the lone wolf, this thought is liberating. If no one is coming, that means the outcome is entirely in your hands. It means you have total control. You have a choice. You can wait for a rescue boat that doesn't exist, or you can start swimming. You must become your own rescue team. You must become your own investor. You must become your own mentor. You are the architect, the builder, and the inhabitant of your future. Say that again. You are the architect, the builder, and the inhabitant of your future. If the house falls down, it is your fault. If the house stands tall, it is your glory. This is the ultimate maturity. The child blames the world. The adult accepts the world. The lone wolf builds the world. It's not about support, it's about sovereignty. You stop looking for handouts. You stop looking for connections. You realize that the only connection you need is the connection between your mind and your actions. When you build in the dark, you learn to trust yourself. You learn that you can handle the problems. You learn that you can figure it out. You are forging a version of yourself that does not need external validation because you have internal proof. You know you can survive the dirt. You know you can survive the darkness. That's the key. So, here is your instruction. Go underground. Stop posting your whip shots. Stop talking about your grind. Just grind. Let the silence be your fortress. Let the darkness be your workshop. Every day you spend in the dark, you are adding another root. You are digging deeper. You are anchoring yourself into the bedrock of reality. And one day, maybe soon, maybe years from now, you will break the surface. You will shoot up. And the world will look at you in amazement. They will say, "Wow, look at that overnight success." They won't see the years in the dark. They won't see the roots. They won't see the solitude. They will call you lucky. You will know the truth. You built this. You built it alone. You built it in the dark. You don't need their permission to shine, because you didn't need their help to build. Now you are ready. The roots are deep. The foundation is set. The weakness has been purged. The noise has been silenced. You are no longer the person who started this audiobook. You are something else. You have undergone the protocol. It is time to look at the finished product. It is time to look at who you have become. And more importantly, it is time to understand what happens when this lone wolf decides to walk back into the marketplace. You are not re-entering as a participant. You are re-entering as a predator.
Chapter 10. The Dangerous Competitor. Take a look in the mirror. Who is looking back at you? If you have followed this protocol, if you have truly cut the noise, starved the ego, endured the boredom, and built in the dark, the person in the mirror is a stranger. They look calmer. They look sharper. There is a stillness in their eyes that wasn't there before. You have spent the last 6 months stripping away the weakness. You have removed the addiction to validation. You have removed the fear of missing out. You have removed the inefficiency of the herd. Now we have to talk about what you have become. You are no longer a participant in the rat race. You are no longer a sheep waiting to be sheared. You have become the dangerous competitor. What does it mean to be dangerous? I am not talking about physical violence. I am talking about something far more intimidating in the modern world. I am talking about competence. I am talking about focus. In a world where everyone is distracted, the focused man is a predator. In a world where everyone is anxious, the calm woman is a king. That's the key. Your ability to remain unbothered is your weapon. Imagine walking into a negotiation. The other side is checking their phones. They are worried about their likes. They are thinking about their weekend plans. Their minds are scattered across 1,000 different meaningless things. Then you walk in. You have just spent 4 hours in deep work. Your phone is off. Your mind is a fortress. You are completely present. You are listening to every word they say. You are calculating. You are strategizing. They don't stand a chance. You are dangerous because you are efficient. You are dangerous because you don't need their approval to function. You are dangerous because you are willing to do the boring work that they refuse to do. The result of the protocol is not just that you get more done. It is that you operate on a frequency that the average person cannot comprehend. They will look at you and wonder, why aren't they stressing out? Why aren't they panicking? They will mistake your silence for arrogance. They will mistake your calmness for indifference. Let them. Their confusion is your confirmation. You have turned yourself into a machine of output. While they are busy talking about what they are going to do, you have already done it. While they are busy debating the strategy, you have already executed the tactic. It's not about talent, it's about discipline. You have built a discipline that makes you formidable, and now it is time to take that discipline back out into the world. This brings us to the phase of re-entry. For the last few chapters, we have talked about withdrawal. We have talked about the separation season. But you cannot stay in the cave forever. The lone wolf eventually has to return to the hunting grounds.
But here is the difference. You do not return as a sheep. You return as a leader. You have a choice. You can re-enter the world and fall back into the old patterns, or you can re-enter the world and set a new standard. When you walk back into the office, when you walk back into the family gathering, when you walk back into society, you do it on your terms. You do not apologize for your absence. You do not explain your silence. If they ask, "Where have you been?" you simply say, "I've been working." If they say, "We missed you at the party," you simply say, "I had priorities." You don't need their permission to prioritize your future over their entertainment. When you re-enter, you will notice something fascinating. You will notice that everyone else is exactly where you left them. They are still complaining about the same boss, they are still worried about the same political drama, they are still chasing the same cheap dopamine hits. It will feel like walking into a time loop, and you will realize with absolute clarity that you have outgrown them. This leads us to the final irreversible truth of the lone wolf protocol: permanent transformation. You can never go back. Once you have tasted the power of deep focus, the noise of the crowd will disgust you. Once you have felt the self-respect of self-reliance, the need for validation will sicken you. Once you have seen the summit, you cannot be satisfied with the valley. That's the key. You have taken the red pill. You have seen the matrix of mediocrity for what it is. You can function in it, you can succeed in it, but you can never again be of it. You are no longer one of the guys or one of the girls. You have forfeited that membership card. This sounds lonely, and to be honest, sometimes it is. But it's not about loneliness. It's about elevation. The eagle flies alone. The pigeon flies in a flock. You have chosen to be an eagle. You cannot expect the pigeons to understand your flight path. You have a choice. You can lower your altitude to make them feel comfortable, or you can stay in the clouds and force them to look up. Do not lower your altitude. When you interact with people now, you are not seeking to fit in. You are seeking to impact. You are seeking to lead. You will become a magnet. People will sense your strength. They will sense that you are anchored in something real, while they are floating in the wind. They will come to you for advice. They will come to you for leadership. Lead them, but do not let them drag you back down. Maintain your boundaries. Keep your 4-hour blocks. Keep your secrets. Keep your no muscle strong. You are a dangerous competitor now. You are an asset to the marketplace, a protector of your family, and a master of your fate. But remember this warning: the gravity of the herd is strong. They will always try to pull you back. They will say, "You've worked enough." They will say, "Come on, just one night." Every single day is a battle to maintain your ground. Every single day, you have to choose the protocol over the pleasure. It's not about the destination, it's about the daily decision. You have the tools, you have the mindset, you have the power. You have stripped away the non-essential, you have embraced the boredom, you have built in the dark. You are ready. The world is noisy, the world is chaotic, the world is weak. You are silent, you are focused, you are strong. The transformation is complete. The lone wolf has emerged. The only thing left to do is to close the book on your old life and open the book on your new reign. Do not hesitate. Do not look back. The past has nothing new to say to you. We are at the end of the teaching, but we are at the beginning of the execution. You have the map. Now you must walk the path.
The protocol is simple, but it is not easy. Most people will listen to this audiobook, nod their heads, and immediately go back to scrolling, texting, and seeking validation from people who do not matter. That is not you. Not anymore. You now possess the secret that the 1% use to dominate, the ability to be alone, the ability to focus when others are distracted. Here is your final instruction. When this audio ends, do not click on the next video. Do not check your comments. Do not text a friend to tell them about this book. Put the phone down. Sit in silence. Look at the work you have been avoiding and attack it. The world is noisy, but your mind is clear. You are a lone wolf. Now get to work.